What's going on, guys? We're back with another banger of a video. Sadly, AI April has come to an end, but that leaves us open for drumroll. Money May! And what other kind of video should I do for Money May other than how to do your taxes for free? Because I know a lot of people have trouble doing taxes or they just don't know how. So I want to bring this video to you to just kind of sum up everything and all the questions and kind of the forms, and so you just get a better idea of how to do them. And I'll supply you guys with a couple of websites that do them for free as well. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I want to start off with a couple definitions just so you guys get some background knowledge before I go into explaining the forms more in depth. Everybody knows what the IRS, it's the Internal Revenue Service, but a little less common are number 3 and number 4, which are standard deductions and itemized deductions. So a regular deduction is just money you subtract from your taxable income. A standard deduction is a specific dollar amount the IRS subtracts from your income, what you made throughout the whole year. And then an itemized deduction is money you subtract from your taxable income. So there's a whole other form that you can go through and check off your charity donations, your medical expenses, and it basically lowers the income that you can be taxed for. All right. And now number 5, dividends are money paid by a company to a shareholder. So if you own a certain percentage of, let's say, Google or Tesla, they'll pay you money quarterly because you own a percentage of that company. Moving on to number 6, a sole proprietor. It is the exclusive owner of a company. It's someone like myself who is a single owner of a company. Plug in right here, branding you. But they are liable for all of the taxes and the losses as well. And then finally on to number 7, capital gains. Capital gains are a profit from a sale of property or an investment. So let's say you have stocks or bonds and you end up doing really good. You buy real low and you sell real high, and then you gained a bunch of money. You got to pay taxes on that money. And what that money is called is capital gains. Alright, so let's just move on to the forms now. Get into it. The first one is a W-2. Now, a W-2 is income that you receive from an employer. So, let's say you work for Pizza Hut or a fast food chain or Ross or anywhere in the entire world that you receive a check from and you are employed, you will receive a W-2. And all a W-2 says is basically just how much you made and how much they taxed you, which I will show right here. Moving on to a 1099. So a 1099 form is what you're going to use to report your non-employment income to the IRS. So this is going to be like contract work, or if you are self-employed, or things like that. There's going to be different 1099s for different types of income, so you'll have to kind of look around and see which one you need based off of what kind of income you have received. But nevertheless, this is what a 1099 looks like. Now a 1040 or a 1040 SR, which stands for senior, 65 plus, is what the majority of you guys are going to use to file your taxes. And it's basically just a form to report your income. Now, whenever you are filing on the 1040, you're going to have 2 different options. You're going to have the standard deduction or the itemized deduction, which I explained a little earlier. Now, the itemized deduction is actually going to be a separate form. It's going to be called a Schedule A. And it's basically just going to show you items that can be deducted from your taxable income. Sometimes it's better to go standard, other times it's better to go itemized. It just depends on your situation. Now, some platforms such as TurboTax is not free by the way, or H&R Block, they will compare the two and weigh out which one will bring you more of a return. But if you don't want to go through the trouble of doing an itemized deduction list on your taxes, you just go with standard. Moving on to a Schedule B. So a Schedule B is a tax form that you will have to file if you received any interest or dividends over $1,500. So basically what that means is if you have a bunch of money in a savings account in a bank somewhere, and over time, let's say a year's time, it has accumulated $1,500 or $1,600 in interest, and you take that out of the bank account, what you took out of the bank, that interest that you took out of your account, is now taxable and it's liable for taxes. You're going to have to file a Schedule B, which is why Roth IRA plans are so important, is because they are not taxable. And it's basically just putting money into a plan that you could take out for retirement instead of having to pay taxes on. Alright, that kind of sums up this page. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So Schedule C is going to be a tax form you file if you are a sole proprietor and you run a business on your own. You'll have to report a Schedule C, which is basically just reporting the losses and the income that you have gained throughout the year for your business. And here's kind of what that looks like. Now moving on to a Schedule D. A Schedule D is stocks and bonds. You have to report your capital gains and losses. So anytime you have done really good in the stock market and sold a bunch of, I don't know, Tesla and made a bunch of money, you're going to have to report the money that you gained and pay taxes on that money. Now, a 1098 is where you're going to report your mortgage or the student loan interest you paid over the year. So basically, it kind of looks like this, and you'll go ahead and fill it out and everything that you paid, and it will be attached to your other taxes and reduce the amount of your taxable income. Now, the mortgage is just a 1098, but the student loan is going to be a 1098-T. Now, last but not least, we have our tax form 4868. And basically what that's going to do is get you an extension on your taxes. So let's say you don't file by April and for whatever reason, now you got to file an extension. This is the tax form that you're going to want to use. Alright, now that we got all of those out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some free websites that you can use to file your taxes. Certain tax websites have like requirements, so like you see it says 45K or less, so Free Tax USA you have to make under or 45K or under in order to use that service. And a lot of the ones that I provide are right around there, but you can see on the bottom, Tax Act, you got to be 20 to 58, but it's also for higher tax brackets as well if you want to use that. Alright, I think that does it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is our first video of Money May. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate all the love and support you guys have been giving. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I will see y'all later.